Interesting enough, this time they're not feeling you, high boy, and just like that, that push from 7-9 sees them scoring even more points, wiping out Weibo. And here comes the rest of Team Flash. They heard all that noise and they thought that perhaps there's going to be more of these damage to be done. Now, the tandem duo of HORRA Esports is going to be charged by the rest of Team Flash. Down to Jingle, he's hiding right behind those boxes, and speaking of which, both have already been knocked down. See Jingle aggressively trying to trade back. Made to be brought out here, but it's going to be a little tough. And just like that, from the top side, Sky has got him covered to take down that member of Team Flash.
See, if you do know how to use that element of surprise, it will always work to your advantage. And that's exactly what we saw coming from HORRA Esports. And now the moment of truth here, ladies and gents, is about to unfold. We've got Sky cooking up a nade, potentially shutting down at least a player coming from Team Flash. Completely missed his target, though, but yeah, maybe a little damage inflicted onto Bowser. Now he goes for the Molly. Okay, going a little bit outside, but okay. No hard push just yet, but oh, Jingle with an on-point spray, shutting down Bounce from that angle.
He's just playing mind games with these members of Team Flash, and just like that, slowly kidnapping one after another. Now it's only down to Tops. Not the one for that is, and here comes, just like that, he breaks out the DBS in time once more as they shut off Team Flash, but that has been 11 massive points that have been gained by the Vietnamese aces. HORRA Esports still well and alive, looking to make the cut into the top 5.
Okay, here we go, ladies and gents. 7 teams remaining, and we are already at stage 6 with 1:30 on the clock before we hit stage 7. We can see that Sem9 boys trying to flush out the remaining players of GLU squad. We've got one of them getting more damage compared to the other one because of those nades. But what risky jump coming from also of D plus Kia. And that is unfortunate because you just know this part is kind of hard to navigate. I mean, there will be no chance for him to get back up, to climb back up to where the fight is already happening. So I guess it's safe to say that D plus Kia is already at a deficit here. But let's see. I mean, 3 is still a good number, for the team. It's still doable. Let's see if D plus Kia can make something out of the situation.
Even the best in the world sometimes have a sort of slip up, so gotta always check where you're turning over, or you might actually just by the edge of the map. Because, yeah, like I said, gonna be playing with 2, while 7-9, they have been able to hustle everybody else, still keeping 4 members well and alive. Now, on to challenge Blue Squad that has been staying stagnant. They've been here for the longest of time, but have not really opened fire all too much, but Superboy's about to change that. Since Superboy has been fielded over a roster, I just felt like 7-9 suddenly have this urge of confidence. Meanwhile, U-High subbed in for Kenny, pretty much the same role where they're going to be... Superboy's about to change that. Since Superboy has been fielded over a roster, I just felt like 7-9 suddenly have this urge of confidence. Meanwhile, U-High subbed in for Kenny, pretty much the same role where they're going to be the aggressive rushers moving into the front line, so... Down to Kenny if he's going to be able to at least seek certain angles that 7-9 can go in for a clean push. But for now, they're just absolutely respecting that space that Blue Squad is currently holding. Though it's only 2 members over onto this shack, and he's going to be wrapping things around. Superboy, he's going to waste no time. He's going to be looking for these targets. He knows he's by that corner of the wall, so he's probably seeing if he can just jump right in for the shot.
Well, you can understand why there's a need for Sem9 to actually get inside of this warehouse because their position is not a very good one. They're still outside of the zone, and GLU knows that. So they apply this pressure onto the boards of Sem9, and there you go. Effectively done. Amazingly. Coming from GLU squad, and that is it. That was the end of the line for Sem9.
That's pretty crazy. 2 versus 4, and they turned the tides around, and they made it look super easy. Where 3 of these members, they got funneled, and they were hesitating on this push. So that was pretty much anticlimactic, where 7-9 evidently had major advantages. So That is a major
Ooh.
mistake, and speaking of which, there are those nades being primed right in. Also, managed to climb back up on the other side, but perhaps he may not be able to find the right trajectory to be able to climb all the way further front. Muskia still very much in this matchup, but the rest of RQ is about to alter that fade, dropping those big bombshells. Only connecting onto Fabian as they're already looking for that reset. Forrest this time has been fielded for the side of Muskia, and now we gotta see what Forrest can do. They did bring one down. Forrest is leaving the pack here with that S12K, and here comes the DPS, but Chip's not quite enough. Now 1 versus 2. The Pekko tries to turn the title around. Fabian already back on his feet. So this is just the second time he brings back Fabian on the ground. And just like that, Forrest, he paves the path as he shuts down the rest of RRQ.
You know, for the side of RQ, they understood that there's really a need for them to push. You know, they shouldn't have wasted any time to be aggressive up against D plus Kia. I mean, obviously D plus Kia was trying to reset, trying to recuperate from that situation where Fabian is still currently knocked down. But, you know, amazingly, with their great reflex and mechanical skills, you know, D plus K was able to defend themselves even if they are, you know, quite at a disadvantage at that point. And I feel like RQ just missed the opportunity really to be super aggressive in terms of like how they should be approaching that situation. But it's still okay. I mean, you make do of what is available to you at that time. But getting back into For America vibes here, it's unusual. Of course, it's not the usual numbers that we see that they can actually come up with in a match. But given the situation, they really don't have that much chance a while ago to score some points. But perhaps, you know, since we still got 4 teams remaining, potentially they could get all of it. But that is, they play their cards right. But D plus Kia, it will be hard for them to get inside the circle here, Contra. I mean, considering that it's an open space that they have to run to. And yeah, I don't think they still have their vehicles with them. Do they? Oh, they have. Okay.
It seems like they really do. I mean, I'm just looking at the current 4 teams left available. D plus Kia, ever since they won that fight, they definitely do stand a really strong fighting chance right now to secure that chicken dinner. Blue Squad, we're down to only 1. HORRA Esports definitely still has impact in the match so long as Jiggle continues to hit the mark. Now, for America Vibes, they are looking to exit out of the factory grounds, and up till now, D plus Kia is holding over onto the high ground. The rest of HORRA Esports stuck within the factory. We'll have to see how exactly do they set foot outwards, because For America Vibes are definitely going to be overlooking onto those compounds at the very same time. It is a very tricky scenario. It's about who actually advances first and reveal themselves, and then the rest of the pack will start to erupt into battle. Speaking of which, Forrest now puts the pressure over onto the citizens of the power towards the angle up against Jiggle, but that's not quite hitting the mark just yet. So Sky, he sees the approach coming in from the Koreans, and they are about to break in the challenge. And here comes the rest of RMB, dropping big nades, and Blue Squad is involved as well, getting that double knock. Can they secure those points before it is being stolen away by For America Vibes?
Everyone's ganging up against D plus Kia here, ladies and gents. I mean, the only team that's available for some beating would be D plus Kia, considering their position. I mean, HORRA Esports, GLU, 4MB, they do have some cover, but HORRA Esports doing an extremely well job of defeating For America Vibes as well. It seems to me like they could win the fight, and yes, sir, my purple horse was able to deliver my point here, ladies and gents, getting the first WWCD for day number 2 of the Ruthless Invitational Showdown.
All it took in that moment was a full set to send everybody in that chaos factory. And my,
oh man, that was such a good long range shot from D plus Kia.
They were absolutely locked in. They were looking at the targets of Vampire Esports for the longest time, and I feel like Vampire Esports just got a little bit too feisty, and they were overzealous to extend over onto the open stretch. But then again, we know how difficult it was with the zone closing into this direction as well. So not many options available. Vampire Esports, they at least secured themselves 5 points to the out. For Esports so far, despite not really getting too much out of the battles just yet, they're about to close in up against LGD. Here comes the push coming in from Sleepy. He's got the nade in hand. He just have to really drop it directly towards the shack, but he's checking the smokes first and foremost. Seems to be clear. 10 now picking up links. And we're looking at this spread coming out of LGD, looking to be pretty interesting as they have had some impact to be able to tackle Brock to no fear. But Jiggle, he drops that big nade. He will find it in return to knock down links.
HORRA Esports doing a great job gatekeeping, applying a lot of pressure onto the side of LGD. Oh man, Jiggle receiving some damage as well from his prey out there somewhere, but an effective kill though coming from No Fear. HORRA Esports right now applying a lot of pressure again up to for LGD here, definitely going for a pinch. Here comes Sleepy again with another nade attack, and Tian, oh man, he's quite exposed behind, and HORRA Esports can capitalize on that one. Here comes Jiggle trying to dance it off with another player coming from LGD, and that is it, guys. LGD just got erased from Miramar map courtesy of HORRA Esports.
That is just super smooth takedowns coming out of HORRA. They slowly single out their targets. They knew what exactly needs to be done since that there is that widespread coming from LGD. Though LGD initially had a certain good idea, but they require at least a knock in order to turn things around. But HORRA Esports just proves that they are way faster and they are 2 steps ahead. Now, the entire south side is cleared up. Where exactly does HORRA Esports move from here? Because this zone is about to close. Stage 6 is going to be pretty interesting because it could shift up and towards the city side of Impala, where BTR is currently at. But take a look at that. Fabian as well as DK. They're split 50-50. They're looking to see whether if they will need to book the exact center or just go in for a big wraparound. Seems like they will just extend towards the stretch, dominate the western end, and just wait till further goes. But for Esports, they gotta make it quick because right now, if they wait any longer, there's barely gonna be enough room for them to play out.
Okay, so I do love the fact that you can already fix your vehicles, right? Especially in Miramar, you know how crucial it is to have vehicles for your mobility. It'll definitely help you to go from point A to point B, and also it can serve as your cover just in case, you know, push comes to shove and you don't have anything to use for cover. Then your vehicles can actually be a good one. But anyway, here comes HORRA Esports and D plus Kia fight. We've seen this coming. We've already anticipated this to happen. Now D plus Kia attacking HORRA Esports. We've got Chips with 80% health here. Fabian still cooking up a nade to try to keep HORRA Esports at bay here, but Sleepy ain't slipping at all. He inflicts a lot of damage up against Ozil here of D plus Kia. Now he's going for a massive crate up against another one and was able to shut down at least one out. He's coming from Ozil, so it's 2 for 2 for HORRA Esports.
And Fabian, he is barely getting enough cover, but he's turning back! Oh, down to 1v1 and they go down! No fear saves it all. 2 members knocked down, and even you still have No Fear over on the back to be able to cover ground. So, interesting move because these 2 teams, they were not supposed to meet each other because D plus Kia pushed towards the south side. They kind of rock up the wrong side, and just like that, HORRA Esports says, "Come at me, bro. I mean, I can fight all day long." You saw what went down. 2 members, they still close the chicken there. You want to try again? Yep, we're going to deliver exactly the same results.
D plus Kia, I feel like they went to the south because they have no place to go. If
they actually do have a lot of place to go.
Yeah,
like,
but it's
there was a
ground.
gas station. There was a gas station that was open for them.
Oh wow, maybe. But yeah. Anyway, it's just unfortunate for D plus Kia and so aggressive on the side of HORRA Esports. Now we're definitely going to see battles happen around Impala area. I mean, JD obviously holding onto a high ground advantage here. They're over at the mountains. BT are close with Alter Ego Eras and as Red Force and 2 players of Thunder Talk Gaming. But Thunder Talk have been passive, you know, from the get-go. They haven't really... I haven't really seen them play or have an altercation with any of the teams just yet. But probably I feel like they're going to wait it out just because they're down to just 2 players, and I think the best thing to happen right now is for BTR to go up against Alter Ego Eris, which I believe will also be like a 3-way fight because Ennis Red Force is also just within the area.
It's not going to be an easy task because Badger is also having a long-range attack potential up against BTR if they ever push out. What has been pretty interesting, other than Thunder Talk being a little bit passive, is just that JDG, they were on the hillside for the longest time. They have yet to really strike down many of all these targets out there. HORRA Esports find themselves an advantage to move into the open ground, but that is going to be very risky because there's still plenty of teams inside the city. Now, the onus is on NS Red Force to be leaving that area of the city, so they will have to push Alter Ego and BTR at the same time.
Exactly, yeah. And you know what I feel like? With this kind of energy we're feeling from HORRA Esports, it's not impossible at all, for them to score a back-to-back winner-winner chicken dinner. But then again, they will still have to go through a lot of teams like Alter Ego Eris and BTR. But since we are also witnessing like kind of a 3-way fight happen between NS, Alter Ego Eris, and BTR, probably they'll also just wait it out up until, at least one team is eliminated. They could take over a building there, maybe a building where Badger is currently staying at. But of course, it all depends on like what the outcome would be from that 3-way battle that we speak of.
And just like that, they're going on an absolute rampage as the entire Thunder Talk members have been shredded out. Alter Ego are the ones that did not to set up the ambush up against the rest of BTR as they were trying to force their way out there. It's going to be up to Snape to actually go in for rescue. It's only going to be Federalis that's going to be alive once he does get that pickup. Pablo now having another situation where Riggs got knocked down from afar, so good going for the side of Nongshim Red Force, while JDG, they have finally made their descent and are about to partake in some of all these battles. Sky knows that BTR is going to be exactly around that corner, and here comes the push coming out of Badru, and it's Sky that's actually shooting upon them.
Okay, that was very risky for the side of Alter Ego Eris, but of course you need all the manpower that you could get just to make sure that you get a good placement from this match. Now, we've got TZ cooking up a nade. He could potentially shut down, all the boys from Alter Ego Eris if, his nade is on point, but that is still a big question mark right there. BTR, we've got Snape and Federalis tandem. Can be hard to get that winner-winner chicken dinner just because they don't have the numbers as well. But let's see what's going to happen. JD, I believe, this is working out for them since they do have that high ground advantage. But then again, the downside of it is that they're exposed. They don't have any cover to protect themselves with, so it makes it easier for other teams to kind of target them. Especially for HORRA Esports, man. I mean, we can see that someone is on prone and just like easy for him to shut down JD from that point. And here comes Sleepy now, just moving closer and closer to JD. But oh man, Snape! The defense against the dark arts professor was able to shut him down.
Yeah, as they try to make their climb upwards, they are still going on an attempt while JDG has to put on the offenses as he tries to surf his way around. He's having a tough time controlling that DBS. Instead, switch over to Scar L to get things done. JDG holding their fortress, but this is still not quite done just yet. There is still Jingle. Let's go over on the low ground. And BTR knows exactly what's happening over on the other quarter, so they are going to be looking to at least push outwards if they could. Nate's now being hooked right in. Not able to hit the mark as he's hoping to connect over on the other side, but they're on the lower ridge. Meanwhile, inside the city, Alter Ego 2 members pinned down. BTR, they're slowly making their advancement, slowly pinning out Badru, so he has to do it all alone. It's going to be Cell QZQ that does find it in return. So there goes majority of Alter Ego barely having enough space. Can Snape pull the miracle run here for BTR?
BTR, I can say that it's definitely a good spot for them. But since we're down to just last player, let's see if they can still pull it off. But great nade again coming from Snape, eliminating Badru. If HORRA Esports is successful in eliminating players from JD and they get the high ground advantage, then there's a big chance for them to get that back-to-back winner with the chicken that we were talking about just a while ago. And now we're down to 2. We're down to 2. Okay, so JD versus HORRA Esports this time. And I guess they should just wait it out. I mean, the contingency plan definitely would be Sky, right? I mean, Jiggle, no fear, right? I mean, Jiggle, no fear. They're the ones pushing, doing all the hard work here. And Sky definitely will provide some support here. But, whew, man, this is a tight one.
It definitely is. Barely enough room for the side of JDG. Now they try to push through. It's looking for Jiggle, but not one. And now they run into 2 members of HORRA Esports. And just like that, the back-to-back win is here for the Purple Hearts. HORRA Esports here, dominating throughout their run in day 2.
Oh my goodness. They're walking inside the lobby right now, banging on their chest.